Stranger friends, it's Amanda here with a very important announcement. It is Aquarius season, and you may or may not be aware that your very favorite co-host of Imperfect Strangers podcast is an Aquarian and getting ready to celebrate her 44th year of life. Yes, that's right. Melissa Beck, she who hates a birthday, will not be celebrating as a birthday party, but we wanted to invite you to join us to not celebrate this not party. So on Saturday, February 13th at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you are invited to join Melissa and I via Zoom to not celebrate this very special not birthday. Tickets are available in two ways. You can purchase a t-shirt and ticket bundle through the online store for $44. You see what we did there? Or you can just buy your ticket for $20 by sending your payment to PayPal at bsstrangers@gmail.com or through Venmo at Imperfect Strangers Podcast. The t-shirt and ticket bundle availability will end on February 4th because we want to make sure that you get your t-shirt before the party so that you can wear it to the party. Once we get confirmation of your payment, whether it's the t-shirt and ticket or just the ticket, we will send you an email with your Zoom link and the passcode, plus all of the stuff that you need to enjoy the party. We have printouts. We're hosting a very special bingo game where we relive our favorite moments from the podcast as well as the Monday Night Lives. So you'll want to make sure that you have that printed out and ready to go, because the very first winner of the bingo game that we play will win a complimentary Cousins in This Motherfucker session with the Strangers. You heard me right. The winner records an episode which will be edited with music and everything for the winner's future listening pleasure. And yes, the Zoom chat will be open because we know you guys like to be in there talking your shit with each other. It will be a glorious mess. So we hope that you can come Saturday, February 13th, 8 p.m. Get your tickets or get your t-shirt and ticket bundle. We'll see you guys soon. Enjoy the episode.
Okay, what'd you do this weekend?
It looks like I did some of what you did, but on a lesser scale. It was home improving weekend, cleaning up. But Chris is like the king of refinancing the house because the interest rates keep dropping. So every time they drop, he's on the phone with the lender like, hey, let's get an appraisal out here.
And then what happens is then he comes around with that little clipboard and with the little sticky tabs where you got to sign right quick.
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah, he and Justin would get along then because Justin, that is his love language. He's like, babe, and he's shouting all these numbers at me at .2754, and then he's like, hold on, let me call Matt real quick. Matt, just out of curiosity. Yeah. Just out of curiosity. I mean, and I don't want to get in your business. I don't want to count your money, but did you know? And then Matt will be like, bro, I did that shit in fucking April, and it's this, that. And then it's really, okay. And then he's sitting there with a calculator.
Yeah. Yeah, so we were supposed to have an appraisal last Friday, Thursday. And so I taught Thursday morning at 5:45. It was the second day in a row. It was like the 15 millionth class I had taught that week. I was tired as fuck. My house looks crazy. I walk in the door, I get out of the shower, and Chris goes, the guy's coming to do the appraisal today. And when somebody comes to do an appraisal in your house, it needs to be like
a magazine.
Yeah, beautiful, because I truly believe that it doesn't matter how nice your house is. I think it truly affects the amount that you get appraised for. And they're not trying to appraise houses for actually what they're, really going to sell for, because shit's funky at the banks right now. Shit's funky in real estate. So it's got to be tip top, and my house looks like a bomb went off. And I'm like, I yell at Chris, and I was like, what? This house is not ready for an appraisal. The basement's still fucked up from my tile job, all the shit. And the boys' room is crazy, so I had to reschedule it. He's coming tomorrow. So this weekend was
I really want to stop you there, and I'm gonna need to cut this whole piece out.
Oh no.
Where you're where you're jumping out of the shower and being like, "What the fuck? It's not ready," because we had our appraisal 2 weeks ago, and it wasn't impressed upon me, that little point that you just made. So I was in my bathrobe on the couch playing fucking Cooking Madness, and he was like, "Babe, what are you doing? The guy's coming." I was like, "The guy's coming for what?" And he's like, "Are there fucking dildos on the side? Like, what the fuck?" "Babe, the guy's coming." I'm like, "For what?" I was like, "He can take pictures. The fucking house is going to be as valuable as the house is going to be, regardless of what you..." He's like, "The house needs to be a magazine." I was like, "Okay, well, whatever, then make it a magazine." And, in my defense, I was tired. And and I also, clean the house every day in little increments. So it's hour by hour.
Mm-hmm.
Let me put this shit in the dishwasher. Hour by hour, let me go sweep that little spot I noticed over there before. Hour by hour, let me go spot clean that thing over there that I saw. Hour by hour, not a doo-doo streak again. God damn. So, I'm the one that's keeping the house magazine level every day, but it's not impressed upon the men that live here that requires really not ever sitting down. It requires a brain capacity that regular people don't understand. So we did get our appraisal and the beds were unmade. Justin was very upset about that. And so I'm going to just need to cut out your whole first 3 minutes because he's going to go see fucking Amanda got it. Why did Amanda get it?
Yeah, so this weekend we just spent time organizing, cleaning out. I emptied a whole garbage bag of trash from the boys' room like you did, but you did the nice, let's get together and talk about the toys that we're going to get rid of, and I did the sneaky, I got to do this in secret or nothing's leaving this room. And then as I'm finishing
But Amanda,
up,
wait. Didn't you already purge their room before school started?
This one was like the not nice purge. Like the one before school started was like, okay, I'll keep all of these stuffed animals and toys in here. This one was the all the Nerf bullets, the Nerf guns that I hate so much, the Thanos gauntlet toy that he suckered someone into buying for him that makes a ton of noise and only serves as a weapon. Chris had to create a distraction in the kitchen because there was sound effects coming from my garbage bag. And I had to run from
Not
the bathroom.
Thanos trying to make it out.
It was like, so I was like,
go. Oh, and they hear that, honey. They know. They're going to know.
They know. So I was like, you got to go make a distraction in the kitchen, talk to them, and then I'm going to run out the front door and take it outside. So teamwork.
What's amazing is things do get worse before they get better when you're purging. Right. And so there's that point in the day where you're just like, we can't go on. I can't go on. Where there's just shit everywhere.
Oh my God. When I texted you last night about recording and then you sent me the pictures and I was like, oh, I know right where she is. I saw Justin putting together that IKEA cabinet and I was like, oh yeah, girl, I've been there. And there's styrofoam and boxes and the little key, that you got to use to turn the Allen wrench.
And the blue thing that you have to peel down and the contractor bags and all the drill bits, every single one.
Yep.
Every leveler, even though you have,
yep.
Why do we have 3 of the levelers up here? A sledgehammer. There's things. And, it's what's amazing is parts of your house that don't got shit to do with the room you're cleaning are now suddenly destroyed. I was like, how did all of the laundry get unearthed from the bags in the course of this project? Well, how that happened is because you needed an IKEA bag to organize whatever it was you were purging, and the laundry that you were in the middle of doing when you randomly decided you were going to do this huge project. In your mind, when you set out to do the project, in your mind, you just see the end.
Right.
Like, I visualized, I was like, okay, Shalom is getting older. Her birthday's coming. We've got to do the right thing by this child who's literally lost her entire 6th grade year.
Yeah.
She's miserable. She's very cool. She needs her whole own space that is conducive to being a teenager.
Yeah.
And what that had to be was the playroom, which used to be the master bedroom. So in my mind, I'm seeing shoji screens, and I basically visualized Urban Outfitters' home. Just whatever's happening in there.
Yeah.
Whatever little 20-something-year-old is going to set up their little dorm apartment and have it, I'm on my adult shit. I made a little, in that cabinet that you saw, she's got a snack shelf. Like, she's in there chilling.
Cute.
She will be when it's all said and done. It looks like shit right now, and we're going to get there. But in my mind, it was just a complete project.
Mm-hmm.
Then I got the garbage bags out and the IKEA bags and started sorting why am I sorting the toys for organization to be given away? Why did I go through that extra step? Why did I do that?
Because you're trying to be nice.
But I also needed to, for some reason, even though I wanted all of it to go into a wood chipper, every single last bit of it, even, girl, there was a point where I was so ravaged in my cleaning that some Hello Kitties made it in a garbage. I said, who did? Fuck it. What's going to happen? Fuck it. What you going to do, kitty? What you going to do? You going to find me? You going to find me? I've been giving you money all my life. I throw you away today. And no one tells me shit, okay? So I'm talking to each little Hello Kitty figurine like, I'm sorry, girl. I got to do it. And that's never happened before. But my house is crazy right now as we sit here.
Yeah, I hate that feeling of just being in between, in the middle of something, especially when you're making some kind of huge change. So now, did Shalom's switch then spiral into now the little girl's living situation is getting switched, or were you able just to cap it at the one?
Well, see, what happened was Shalom was in the first bedroom, which is actually better suited as a classroom because it has a door that opens that I can see directly into it from the kitchen. The problem with where they were was I got around a corner and then go into a laundry room and then into the playroom, which was the classroom. But it was playroom classroom joint, and I felt that was not conducive to learning. And also at the beginning of this, even though we knew the pandemic wasn't ever going to be temporary, I built a temporary classroom because I had this random irreconcilable hope that this was 6 months tops. It's not.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? This entire school year will be in a bedroom in my home. So I said, what are we waiting for? I'm gonna sit in this cramped corner, and that's what happens. I sit on the little sofa. I get my little headphones out. I do our edits to the podcast. Me and you go back and forth in the Slack while they're at school. So I'm sitting in a classroom trying to do my thing while they do their thing. And listen, I was talking to JJ about how fucking stressed out I am about making this move, and he's like, Melissa, let me just take you down one notch. He's like, there are people that are living in a 1-bedroom apartment right now.
Oh, right.
That are sitting at a TV table.
Yeah.
With a computer, and their child's on the couch. And he is like, you have very rich people problems, so I just want you he said, just putting it out there. Just putting it out there. I was like, okay. But I'm still upset. Which is true, though. Which is true. I'm sitting here complaining about making a beautiful classroom for my kids. I'm a fucking piece of shit. I'm an asshole. But yeah, when the classroom is over and the pandemic's over, I'll just stick a bed in there. Okay. And it'll become the third girl's bedroom.
That's nice. I know.
Wow.
It's a lot, like when you're because you just want it done.
Well, your basement project looks great.
Thanks. It started to feel a little like, well, the grout is not easy, and I don't enjoy it.
You're a baller. First of all whatever those little grout separators are that you did, tens of thousands of them on those skinny towels, I was like, oh, she's a weekend warrior like a motherfucker.
Yeah. Well, this kind of came out of nowhere. So we have this amazing vintage concrete sink, And since we've moved in, it's just been the disgusting corner of the basement because half of the basement, the back half is completely finished. The front half is unfinished. And that's where the laundry is, the murder bath, and then like storage. And it runs the entire length of the house. And the plan has been to, at some point, at least like finish off the entrance into that area and then like finish off the laundry and make the bath a place where at some point we have an office space off of the basement. And so like at some point that will become a bedroom for Quinn, and then she'll have her own bathroom down there, but it has to be nice. Right now it's just cinder blocks and a toilet and a gross shower. So I thought, okay, I can refinish this sink and make it cute. And then I got to thinking, oh wait, I have this extra tile from an old project. I've always wanted to learn how to tile because eventually I'd like to retile my bathroom and I'd like to tile the fireplace upstairs. So this might be like a nice place. It's easy. It's just a square. I don't have to make any fancy cuts. This might be the place where like I can try this out. So I got this wild hair. I stopped on the way home one day at Lowe's and I picked up the things I needed. I watched a couple YouTubes and I did it. And I watched the grouting video and they literally put it on this thing called a float, and I knew I had to run it at 45 degrees. I knew I had to be careful over the joints so that I didn't pull it out. And I watched these men over and over swipe up, swipe down, swipe up on the 45, swipe down on the 90, because you're removing the excess on the way down.
Right.
I fucking went in there. I mixed it, put it in my little cup because I didn't want it to dry out. I knew I had to work in small spaces. I knew I had 10 minutes. And I went to do that first swipe up. And it's like, do your kids have that sand, that like kinetic sand?
Yeah, I love it.
That's what the consistency of this grout is. And so as I'm swiping, it's not filling the joints. It's dropping all over my beautifully like cleaned up, refinished sink. I'm stressing out because I'm not sure how I'm going to clean it up. I can't wash it down the drain because then it's just going to harden and ruin my plumbing. I've got it like a drop cloth over the sink, but it's falling all over the place. And I get to the point where I am now with a tiny putty knife, putting a little scoop at a time.
And you're like jamming it in there manually,
yes, manually. And
then
each
little increment.
Yes, each little increment. So each little tile, I'm going in there and shoving it into the joints, and then I'm using my finger, and then I'm going back with the grout float, which was supposed to make this really easy, and then like scraping and smoothing. So I did maybe like 30% of it, and then I was like, now I have to wait 30 minutes because then you have to like clean the excess off of the tile. I was getting stressed, so I was just like, fuck, I'm going to finish what I've started so that it can dry, and then I'm going to make sure it's okay before I fuck up the whole wall. And then I was like, wait a minute. I have some leftover black paint from painting my bedroom. I'm going to paint black stripes on this little wall here because I had painted then everything. Then it spiraled into I'm going to get like it's called Dry Lock. It's like a waterproofing paint for cement block. And I was like, you know what? This whole like
right.
This
so
whole
if your
basement
shit molds
needs,
down there,
yeah,
it doesn't mold. Okay, yeah.
This needs touched up. I should touch it up. I'm just gonna get the waterproofing paint and I'm gonna paint it white. And then it was like, well, this is really sterile. And so then I was like, I'm gonna paint these black stripes because I've got leftover paint. That might be cute. And then it just started to feel like lipstick on a pig, and I was just like, ugh.
Hold on a second. You know how hard it is to paint stripes evenly? And you were just like, let me just paint stripes after trying to you know how hard? That is unparalleled ambition.
I just get in these moments where I'm like, I think that I have the skill and talent to do it. So I'm going to keep trying. I'm going to paint the floor. I ordered a cute little rug for in front of the sink. I'm going to order some cute little canisters to decant my laundry supplies into, some little, I don't know, mid-century modern looking shits. I've got some pendant lights they're hardwired lights that used to live in Quinn's room. I'm going to attempt to turn them into plug-in pendants so that I can, just plug them in and drape them over the sink. Yeah.
You just stated about 7 professional grade jobs. This motherfucker said, let me be an electrician right quick. She said, let me be a plumber right quick. She said, let me be a professional exterior painter right quick, because painting stripes on a concrete wall ain't no shit that a normal regular guy could do. She said, what was the other thing you just said?
Well,
grouting. So let me be
grouting.
a tile person.
I want to build like a little enclosure around the washer and dryer. The reason why I tackle all of these projects is because I can't ask Chris to do it because it's not going to get done in a timely manner. I'm totally capable of doing this stuff, and I'm not going to hire it out because it's not in the budget right now to hire somebody to come down and do it. So if I can like scheme and plot and present to him like, okay, this is what we're going to do. This is how much it's going to cost. We're only going to have to hire someone to come plumb for a sink because that's kind of part of the bathroom refinishing. If I can like convince him that we can do all of this for very little money and only have to pay for a contractor to come do one small thing, then I can get him on board. But if I come down here like, well, we're going to need somebody to come do this and do this, I've found in our marriage that if I'm like, we can do it, like it's so easy. I've watched a couple of YouTube videos. I can like get him in on the plan and then it gets done. And it usually requires like 15 calls to my dad. But
well, trusty,
I have hope.
Handy, reliable Arthur. Yeah, you got that. Wow, we had a parallel, but also very. We're living in a weird, like you're on the top axis, and then I'm on the upside down axis, where everything is grimy and dark, and then demons lurk. So you're in regular, healthy Earth side, and I'm like deep underground because we too had this very conversation, and like how you're all positive and top loading it with. Listen. I've studied some YouTubes. I've purchased very minimally within a budget, reasonable budget, the supplies that we're going to need. And also, while you're doing your thing, guy, I'm going to be over here handy than a motherfucker. I'm over here Genevieve Gorder in this bitch. I'm over here just, trading spaces. So you do you. And then when you get back, all we're going to need is one guy to come in here for, I'm thinking $250. And we're gonna be straight. And Chris is like, cool. So let me show you the Melissa way of doing that. So I was like, first of all, I wanted these built-ins ripped out. Mm-hmm. The house is an original, literally the father of American modernism. Nails emoji. Built this house, but the woman made the master bedroom. She added a closet without the architect's consultation. So Justin is somehow very attached to everything about this house, even things that weren't commissioned by the regular person. So in 2012, when we got up in here, while we were in construction, I said, rip all this shit down. Rip all this shit down and put a wall in with a pocket door so that it can become a real bedroom one day. No, this is cool. Let's use this. Yeah. So we didn't do it. And it was fine. It worked for a little while we had 2 little girls, because it was an open laundry room attached to a playroom. And obviously I'm a stay-at-home mother. So like a prairie woman, I was doing laundry every day while the children played. It was a perfect setup. But then, we had a 3rd child where that wasn't in the plan.
Yeah. And
now we need 3 bedrooms. So it was, the 2 little girls share a room, which is fine because they co-slept. And so now they co-sleep each other. And it works out. Maja ain't trying to sleep by herself. But at some point she will, people are going to start getting periods around here and nobody's going to want to be by anybody. So I'm like, we need 3 rooms. He never wanted to do it. It's going to require a contractor. And he also doesn't want to hear my mouth, because how you're top loading shit with positivity. I'd be like, first of all, motherfucker, I told your ass in 2012 we should have ripped them built-ins out. And then I told you we should have had a contractor put the shit in at that point. Because look at this shoddy construction. Why the fuck don't that thing go all the way to the ceiling? That doesn't look ridiculous to do. And also, when I pull up from the downstairs, I can see that shelf from outside. And I don't really want to pull up to this house and look at an Expedit. I don't know about you, but I don't really want to do that. And I'm just a fucking, is your fucking period coming? Because this is crazy. So what I like to do is I like to just start a project. You see, I like to just start a project knowing my limitations are I can purge the space.
Yeah.
I can get the space ready for the real work that will require a contractor. And now he's going to have to live with the ugly because I already started the project. So that's what I did. On Saturday, I just woke Shalom up and was like, girl, you want that bedroom? You want to make that bedroom your secret little suite apartment? Then I'm going to need your help. We're going to need to throw all these toys away. Daddy's got phone calls. He doesn't need to be involved in that process.
Yeah.
We're just going to get it started. And I was like, and then I'm just going to be a cunt on wheels. She was like, okay. So Shalom and I got to purging and everything, and it turned the house upside down. It turned the house upside down. He's like, the foyer was filled with toys. The fucking hallway was filled with toys. There were toys. No one could sleep in any bedroom because there were toys on the beds. And then, Sunday came, and I was like, are you going to help me? I emptied the shelf. I made it to where all he had to do was come in there with a drill. Yeah. Whatever they do. Because the shit was mounted to the wall. Because, we're good parents and we don't want the furniture to fall on our kids.
Right.
So the shit's been mounted to the walls. Also, when the shit's mounted to the walls, what does that mean? The walls are now damaged.
Mm-hmm.
So he said, well, make a fucking list, okay? Make a list of all the holes that are going to need to be repaired, all the walls that need to be patched, and we'll bring someone in. You see there? That wasn't going to happen. That wasn't going to happen with me just sitting there sulking. That had to happen with me exposing them raggedy ass walls.
Wait a minute. Oh, hold on. Okay, so I'm imagining you have an anchor, like a molly, like a plastic, right? So
yes, Genevieve.
So why do we need a contractor to fill those holes?
Baby girl, listen to me. Justin Beck, I'm going to tell Justin Beck to go down to the garage, get the spackling shit, right?
Yeah.
Right? Isn't it get the spackling shit?
You get the spackling.
And then get the paint. Okay, everybody has the jar of paint, the excess paint.
Yes.
Do we not all have that? You have a can of black paint.
Girl, I have a
that
Sherwin-Williams.
You have a can of the white paint that matches your shit. Every place in there, you have a section in your house where the paints are.
Yes.
To repair these mistakes.
Correct.
We have that too. But ain't nobody going over there. So, Shalom right now has a giant wall that has holes in it because we removed a shelf that was mounted to it. And I'm on Amazon looking for macrame art just to cover that shit because I can't.
It's so easy, though. If they're just like, a nickel, dime size, you just have to fill them, smooth it out, and then sand it and paint it. You could literally do it in 2 hours.
Man, woo! She's crazy. She's talking crazy. You are talking wild right now. It's so easy, though. All you have to do is go downstairs and get the supplies, get out all the tools, get the drop cloth. What'd you say? Fill it, let it dry, smooth it, sand it, paint it. Girl, was all those steps. Ma'am.
Do you know when we moved out of our last house, I painstakingly went through after we had completely moved out because it was a situation where they couldn't break their lease until September. So we hadn't found a house yet. So we just stayed for like 3 months and rented the home back from the new owners. And after we had everything moved out, I went back to that house and I started painstakingly filling every single nail hole, every single anchor hole. And my mom was like, you don't have to do that. And I was like, oh, for real? Because I thought that was like the nice thing to do. She was like, no, absolutely not. So I was like, oh shit, I'm gonna stop right now.
That's really nice though.
I thought I was being nice. I even made sure that they knew where all of the paint cans, I left them all of the paint and it was all labeled. Which room was it? This was really nice. I had stenciled a wall in our family room and we had the TV in the corner and it was mounted. And so I even was like, I've left you the stencil so that if you don't want to put your TV where ours was, you can go in and fill in that. And here's the paint that I used. Fill in the stencil so it's complete and be on your merry way.
You are really nice because when we moved out of our house, listen, I do believe in having a house move-in ready for a motherfucker because that's just good karma. That's just being a good person. I'm not going in and filling no goddamn hole. You kiss my whole ass. But that toilet is going to be lickable.
Yes.
That kitchen, them interior cabinets, everything is going to be wiped the fuck down. So you could just move your shit inside them bitches if you ain't ripping it out.
Oh, I hire a cleaner. And so she was hired to come clean my house before I moved in and then clean out the fridge and it wasn't a deep clean, but like wipe it all down, vacuum, clean the floors.
Oh, no. I deep clean an empty home. I deep clean that house. It was pristine, beautiful. Because the other thing is it's a reflection of me.
Right.
We've met, you're the new buyer. We've met, you know who I am. I'm not having you 3 weeks from now open a toilet and be like, hold on, this bitch said that this was clean. You ain't saying that about me.
Right.
You gonna open that toilet and be like, girl, this girl was crazy. She really cleaned in here. That's how I truly feel. But I've seen, and you could ask, I've had friends move into houses and the shit is filthy.
Ugh.
Filthy like the White House post-Trump administration, girl. Nasty. Nasty. And I just think that that's not a good way to live in life.
No, I think you should leave it at least, you should leave it better than you left it. And when you're moving out, I mean, there's movers in and out. You're in and out. You usually have your shoes on because you don't care anymore if the shoes are on in the house. So yeah, it does need to be, but I always hire somebody to come clean out the house before we move in, just because it's like one less thing that I have to do.
Right, because you want to go in there and just start putting your fucking canned goods in the cabinet. You want to put your towels in the thing.
Right.
We moved into our house with it requiring literally a full overhaul of renovation, which was going to be daunting as fuck.
Yeah.
So the first year, I'd say, was just getting permits and finding the right architect who understood that we wanted to, not level the house and start over, which is what everybody wanted us to do in this town. So living in I'm not going to say filth, but, a 50s house that was full of life. Mm-hmm. Was so hard.
I can imagine. I mean, because you touched just about every single square inch of the house, right?
Except for that shit that I ripped out of Shalom's now room. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a lot. We've never had any major renovation with the exception of we redid the hall bathroom about a year and a half after we moved in here. And that wasn't anything. I mean, that was just like removing the original tile and doing new stuff and putting up drywall. And that was enough. Like the drywall dust alone was enough to send me.
Y'all did your own bathroom?
No. So the kids' bathroom it was original, but at some point, like we had that tile that goes about 3/4 of the way up the wall in the dry area. And then there was tile in the shower surround. And we had like the original ceramic, like toilet paper holder, towel holders, that kind of stuff. Yeah. So at some point, somebody thought, I hate this original mid-century tile that's pristine and white and turquoise and looks beautiful with the turquoise hex tile on the floor. I'm going to cover it in a beige speckle, like, that refinish shit that you can buy at Home Depot.
Oh.
Uh-huh. So they did that, and I tried to scrape it off
so that you could save.
So I could save what was there because I wanted to maintain, because like they had ripped out the entire kitchen and changed it. So there wasn't a ton left that was like original to the house. So I was like, oh, I'm going to save this. It's going to be so beautiful, and it's impossible to remove. So it just came to the point where it was out of my scope because those bathrooms were built like bomb shelters. So it is chicken wire, it is cement, it is then mastic and tile and grout, and it was so dusty and dirty, and I don't know how to drywall. So he had to basically like cut out the entire wall and then re-drywall in the dry area and then cut out and redo the shower surround. It was beyond my scope.
Wait, so you had someone come in?
I had to have somebody come in because I couldn't.
I mean, that's the only way to live, baby.
But it was supposed to be a 2-week job, and it ended up being like an 8-week job. So
Yeah. I mean, it takes a long time, but patience is the key. I've also found that, are you at the stage in pandemic where you just hate everything you have?
Do I? You know what? I don't. It's weird, but
Good for you. This is a fucking, that's great. Because I'm living in hell over here.
No, I only contributed to the fact that when we moved, our last house was like twice the size of this one. And so I had to be very, very specific in editing what came with and what left. And then even when we moved in here, my furniture was scaled to fit a mid-90s McMansion. And now I'm moving into a small 1954 ranch home. My stuff was so big. So over the last 5 years, it's either the only thing that lives here is stuff that I really am obsessed with and love, or I've had to replace it because it was crazy big for the space. And so I think that's the only reason why I don't hate everything, is because it's all been kind of like reconfigured within, recent times.
Yeah, we still don't have dining room chairs. There's literally 2 chairs at an 8-person table. Because we both can't commit.
Yeah.
Each decision that we make that's based on saving money and being practical ends up being stupid. And we have to get the money back anyway.
Yeah.
And then pay for the restocking fee. And so by the time we get the chairs, we'll have wasted $250 returning chairs. So JJ made a point the other day. Girl, and when I tell you it was a eureka epiphany moment, that it shouldn't be. Like, it's horrible. It was a horrible piece of advice, but I was like, girl, you are right. He's like, why the fuck are you going through this back and forth? He's like, Melissa, just get the chairs that you love. You're going to pay for them once. It's going to suck. It's going to be extremely painful. I understand. And he was like, but fuck it. It's only money. You are going to die one day. I was like, you know what? But he's so right. Like, why am I going to settle on, like, I have the dream chair that I want. The dream chair that I want is extremely expensive, even as a knockoff. But where are we going?
Right.
I'm going to be up in here. I should enjoy the chair. I'm going to be in here for another year at least.
Yeah.
Even without demons in the White House, I'm going to be in here for another year at least. And I should, when I come up my stairs, be like, oh, hey, 6 Cheska chairs. How are you today? You little fucking expensive cuties. And I want it to be one of those things where I love every single piece in this house. And I did. But now I've been looking at it every day.
Yeah.
And now it's been getting wear and tear that it shouldn't have been getting. Because, when you don't childproof, like we don't,
Right.
and you live in your house regular and you expect your children to respect your stuff.
Yeah.
But now the children got a children 24 hours a day in here. Shit start getting wear and tear.
Uh-huh.
And I'm sick of looking at it. I'm sick. Like, I am at that place where I want, that The Shining hallway that Kanye has, where it's just a long ass hallway of archway, all white. Then you finally get to the room and it's a fucking piano and a Moroccan proof, and you're like, what? Where do people sit? And in my mind, I'm going, that's exactly what I want.
Right. I know. I get that way. I was feeling that way a few weeks ago, because I really don't have anything. I used to love a vignette on a tabletop or on a counter. And over the years...
let's talk about it.
I used to love a book. and a decorative element. And maybe there was a lamp there depending on where we were. And, you know, oh, maybe I have some like old typewriter letters that I'm just going to like put in a cute little arrangement. That was my old house. I used to love that shit. And as I've gotten older, it's like, I want nothing on the counters. I want no decor. I need to have absolutely nothing here to dust around or look at. Oh.
Yeah, I'm not lifting no shit up. Listen, and then the few decorative pieces that I do have, they better be also functioning. Is there a living plant in that bitch?
Right. Yeah.
Is it so heavy that it doesn't get moved? That because it's a piece of life in here. I don't want to look at anything. I don't want to touch anything. And I hate it. I'm stuttering. I hate it. So I hate a vignette. Yeah. I hate stuff just for stuff's sake. I can't take it. I can't take it.
I had some once tell me that my house looked like we had just moved in. This was like our very first house. He was like, "Did you guys just move in?" I was like, "No, we've lived here for a year and a half." And he was like, "Wow, you have like nothing on the walls." And I was like, "And what's wrong with that? I see no problems."
And that's just, there's a tasteful way to do minimalist that looks lived in. Hard to do, but there's a tasteful way to do it. There are people that just moved in and it looks just moved in. Like, I see a box that says soccer. Like, we just gonna leave that in the living room? Or, you know, when people just move in and they're still thinking about how they want the space to be, and so they make the beautiful, gigantic entryway a playroom. I don't know if that's a fucking thing in Ohio, but it's a thing on Long Island. Yeah. I don't know how many pre-pandemic toddler play dates I've been on where I walked into a beautiful home where I pull up and I'm thinking, ooh, let's see what she got going on. And I walk into a Disney Playhouse at the front door.
Girl, my sister's neighbor across the street, and the houses are so close, you can see into this woman's front room. And it is intended to be like a formal sitting room or a formal living room. I can see through her windows that it is a playroom, which means that you walk into her front door right into a playroom. And it makes me upset because I know she has a full finished basement. There's absolutely no reason why I want to walk into your house and see primary colors and toys.
I don't understand that where did that come from? Can someone write a book on this? Is this happening all over the United States? Because I've seen it a lot of times where you walk into someone's space and it's just like, hey, we have a lot of kids. Want to come in here? I don't want to come in here at all. I hardly want to be with my motherfuckers. I don't want to see shit that they own, to be honest. If it was up to me, everything in here would be white and untouchable. Glass. Go ahead, Britt. Bust your fucking face open. I told you not to jump on that.
Yeah.
I don't understand it.
I don't either. It's baffling to me. I had someone at my previous house actually had a client. I was supposed to have a meeting with them. And then I went into labor and had Bennett early. And I was like, we can still meet, but you guys are going to have to come to my house and we're going to do it here. And this woman walks into my kitchen. We sit down at the table and she was like, I couldn't tell that you had kids here. And I was like, and that's the way that I like it. I don't want to see that shit. I want to live in my house as I like it, and children also live here, but their things are hidden.
That's how life should be. I also, I don't want to see a baby gate. I fucking told your ass don't go over there.
I hate a baby gate, but I had to live
hate
with
a
one.
Fucking baby gate.
I know. I had to live with one in my last house, in between the kitchen and like the hallway into the foyer to go upstairs because of Bennett. And it was so painful to look at. I'm currently trying to figure out what to do with my 2 dog crates that have lived in the kitchen since we moved here. Recently had the idea that I think I might be able to put them in a closet in the kitchen because I absolutely hate that who's coming in my house and judging my dog crates? No one.
I would.
But when people come over, I hide them. I put them away so you can't see them because it ruins the aesthetic.
Yeah. Well, actually, Weekend Warrior, you can probably build out a cute little dog area, a little mid-century modern dog house.
I've considered it. The problem is that when I say my house is small. And so it is, everything is prime real estate and everything has something thoughtfully put in it. And there's really no place to hide them now unless I put them in the basement, which feels kind of mean. And then that's like
I literally was about to say, why don't the dogs live in the basement? What do you mean that feels kind of mean? You're giving them an entire apartment. What do you mean?
Well, it's like an extra step. So if I'm going to be gone for a long time, they get crated. And so then it's like an extra step for me to like take them all the way downstairs and put them in the crate and come all the way back upstairs. Like it's not
baby, they going in a crate downstairs. They going in the, boop, boop. Boop! You hear that? That's the truck pulling up. They going in the back of that.
But I have this closet in my kitchen, and it keeps like extra cleaning supplies and kid craft stuff. And in the very bottom, I think if I remove the bottom shelf, it's just wide enough that I can stack those crates side by side, and then I can just leave the door open, and then they live in the closet.
At least you wanted to leave the door open, because I was like, and then shut the door.
But there's a little light in there. I could pull the little light on, and so I'm going to have to try it and see, because that's like my latest annoyance. Is the dog
Wait,
crates.
you have 2 dogs?
Yes, 2.
Why do I not know this?
I feel like we've talked about it before.
We've talked about it 1,000 times. It's a dog named Cookie.
Coco, close. Coco and Louie.
I'm terrible. Coco and Louie. My sister-in-law has a dog. I'm trying to think about that dog's name. Hold on now. Let me think about it.
Okay.
I think it might be Coco and Louie too.
That would be insane.
No, I think she has a dog named Louie. I'm going to have to text her and ask her. I think it is Louie.
The dog came with the name Hamish, which I thought was really cute, but the children were not into it, so.
Wait, you can just rename an animal?
Well, he was just a tiny puppy. He had been surrendered. He was like a litter of 5, and the lady was an animal hoarder, and so she surrendered the animals to the rescue, and so they try to give them cute names, and so they were 3 boys and a girl, and so they named them after that. Your kids watch that movie Merida, that Disney movie with the Irish princess?
With the gorgeous red hair?
Yes. So they had named one puppy Merida, the girl, and then the 3 boys were Hamish and whatever the other 2 names were.
That's cute.
I thought it was
Hamish
adorable.
would have been a cute-ass dog name.
I thought so, but Kindergarten Quinn was not having it.
I actually prefer a small home where everything has its place.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no room that goes unused.
That's the exact reason. I mean, there were a couple reasons why. Because the last house that we were in, we assumed that it was like the house that we would stay in until the kids grew up and graduated. And at the time, Chris was traveling for work, and so it didn't really matter where we lived. But then when he left that position and was working downtown, it was a 30-mile round trip. Or I'm sorry, no, it was a 30-mile single drive from the house to downtown. And he had taken the job change right before we had Lennox, maybe like 3 or 4 months before. And so it got to the point where I'm home with 3 children. My husband leaves at 7 in the morning and comes home at 8:30 at night. And my kids still think that he's traveling because they don't see him. And also we have a formal dining room, a formal living room, a formal office. We have the kids never want to go in the basement by themselves. It is it's like another like 2,000 square feet of a finished basement. They won't go upstairs by themselves because they're scared to go into their bedrooms and play. So we live in the kitchen and in the family room, and that's it. And I'm like fucking cleaning and stressing about all of the other levels and spaces in this house that we don't live in. And I was like, this is stupid. Let's get closer to downtown, and let's also like have a house where we're going to use every single room. I'm tired of cleaning this house.
Yeah.
So we downsized this. The first floor is 1,500 square foot. And then the basement is half of the finished part is like half of that. So it's
see, I don't be knowing
perfect.
no numbers and stuff, but yeah.
It's perfect.
This house is, I don't know what the fuck the numbers are, but every space is used. I don't like it to have a formal dining room where the fucking table is set and there's placemats and a charger plate and a fucking salad bowl and napkins and then a napkin ring and a glass and and then fake flowers and then
a buffet.
And I'm like, a buffet with the fucking dishes on it. And I'm thinking to myself, are y'all gonna be entertaining?
Yeah, no. I spent so much money finishing out my formal living room or my formal dining room, and we literally used it for Christmas Eve. That was the only time we ever ate in it, was when we had family over for Quinn's birthday. And I was like, this is a waste.
Did you have the table set at all times?
I had a beautiful table runner. I had gold chargers. Now, I usually just left the chargers out because the china that I have is the mid-century china that my grandma used to have, so I can't leave that out with children.
Like, growing up, my parents had a giant hand-carved Filipino china hutch. Mm-hmm. And the hand-carved Filipino china hutch had a matching giant hand-carved dining table with a piece of glass on top so that dust wouldn't get into the intricate floral beautiful, way too fucking big for the house, but beautiful. Mm-hmm. And then chairs to match too, with the giant carvings and the this and that. But so formal. You weren't allowed in that room. You couldn't touch the shit.
Yeah.
And it was just like, why?
Yeah.
And so much of like how we learn to decorate is what we lived in. Mm-hmm. So, like, when you get to a place where a space is really yours, you have to really think hard about what not to do because you've been, by osmosis, trained to do what your parents do.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? That's really interesting that you say that. I never thought about that, but thinking back to our first house, it was my mom. Wow.
Uh-oh, did a baby girl just get her mind blowed?
I did. I mean, it was like a Pottery Barn catalog vomited in my house.
Because you believed that you needed a formal dining room. A formal dining room with a chandelier and 6 chairs and then the 2 chairs in the corner on either side of the buffet. Just in case 2 more people come.
Just in case. Wow.
And our philosophy when we moved into our houses, I said to Justin, I was like, I don't want anything in here for just in case a motherfucker comes over.
Oh, my God, yes.
I want to live in here for how I'm living in here. Mm-hmm. Because I'm the one paying for this shit. So, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I'm going to just take up a whole bedroom with a queen-size bed and 2 side tables and have it really be sad and empty in there and then put a weird fucking leather desk chair in there that's so someone can be a gamer. What the fuck room is that? That room is ugly and I don't want that room. Get that out of here. Every room has to be lived in and have a purpose, and it has to be lived in for a purpose that I like because I live here. So I'm not buying 2 armchairs, 4 side chairs, and then 2 more armchairs that live in the corners. Mm-hmm. Why does the armchair live in the corner? Who's going to sit by the credenza? Who's going to sit by the buffet? Who's sitting there? And then when you pull up to the table, does the motherfucker even fit now? Now all our elbows is touching. You can't come over. How about that? I just don't get it.
Yeah, That makes a lot of sense because that's like, this is the first home that has felt the most authentic to us in like our style and how we want to live. And we don't have a guest bedroom. So if we have somebody on the rare occasion have to come stay here, they used to sleep in Quinn's bed. She had a trundle, but then her room is so tiny that we ended up getting her a loft bed so that she could have space underneath to like sit and hang out. And when my mom came up to stay at Christmas, she does not enjoy sleeping in the loft bed. And so I had purchased an air mattress thinking originally that Quinn could sleep on the air mattress and then my mom would sleep in the loft. And my mom is like, I would rather sleep on your sofa in the sunroom. And I'm like, that seems really cruel, but okay. That's the only time that this house feels like it's not big enough, is just the sleeping arrangements, but it happens so infrequently that it's really not an issue.
Right. So why would you have a whole thing that you're paying taxes on for the 2 times that someone's coming over? I had that issue in this house. Justin Beck is crazy. And, you know, Glassjaw is run on a very tight budget. It just is because, you know, it's a business and a passion. But at the same time, to make the business work, he can't lose money making it work. So I remember when he was auditioning for a drummer and a bassist, he was like, these 2 guys are coming from Virginia. I was like, oh, okay. And I'm like, so they gonna stay at the Holiday Inn Express? You gonna scoop them up? He was like, no, they took a train here. Then they're going to take another train here. I'm going to pick them up, and we're going to need to make room for them. I was like, 2 strangers? He was like, yeah. And, like, I've been a band wife for so long that there's just certain things that I got to let go of. And if Justin Beck says 2 random strangers going to come up in here, I'm going to be hospitable. So, you know, I took out all the kids' shit out of Shalom's room and made one room. I'm like, the tall one got to lay in this bed. The little one got to go over here because... So, you know, we had one here. And, like, we had purposefully bought a bunk bed with this idea of putting it in the playroom above the couch because the couch was too small for a person to actually sleep on. So I was like, this grown-ass man's going to sleep in this bunk bed? And he's like, it's fucking one day. He's like, not even. He's like, it's maybe 6 hours because we're going to be fucking shredding.
Yeah.
The whole day. And then I'm going to let him sleep. So, you know, there have been a lot of times where it's a full house here because the band's here, but we've managed to make it feel not weird that 2 grown-ass men are also now lurking in our house. You know, and there's a full bathroom down in the studio. And Justin's like, I'll get an air mattress. And I'm like, no, they're our guests. They need white towels. They need white bedding. We have to make it nice. They need a water carafe. This is crazy. And we'll just live how we live. And when they were here, Justin Beck and I, king-size bed, full-ass, Shira and Maja in it, Shalom on the couch or whatever it is. But, you know, these are temporary. Well, it wasn't I mean, it happened about 6 or 8 times a year. And I'd be like, girl.
Oh, my God. You saying that, sharing a bed, Chris Strong, loves saving money, right? We cover that in he's refinancing the house for the 15 millionth time to save money. We took a trip to northern Michigan. I was 15 years pregnant with Lennox. We had 2 small children, and we stopped in Ann Arbor for the night. So we drove. It's about a 5-hour drive. So we were going to drive to Ann Arbor, spend the day, spend the night, and then we were going to make the rest of our way up to the top of the state. My husband books a hotel room with 1 king bed that we are to all 4 share, plus my giant body. I will never let him forget that. And that just gave me some PTSD hearing you having to share a king-size bed with 2 children, because that was the worst ever, the worst sleep of my life.
Oh, king-size bed for 2 beds. Oh, yeah. it's got to be 2 beds and the pull-out sofa. Well, listen, we've Justin Beck is the king of saving money. This motherfucker has before, like, you know, been on a world tour in a fucking Toyota Corolla. Like, he don't give a fuck. He's like, we got to get there. Did we get there or did we not get there? We got there, didn't we? I remember after Hurricane Sandy, there were no hotel rooms, and it was either stay in our cold ass, you know, house where the roof could fall in at any minute, or this small ass La Quinta, me, him, I'm pregnant, Shalom, and then our other family members were displaced too, so like they would, you know, go back and forth from their house, and then like we'd all just be sitting in the hotel room like, here we all are.
Oh no.
And it sucked, but it also is just like, you know, those are the moments of life where life actually happens, so I try to be cool about that shit. Like, am I happy that we're all sitting in this La Quinta room right now? I'm not, but you know, people are dying, Kim. So
the rich lady problems.
All right, we've made it to another end of another month, this time January. How are we doing this? We don't know, but guess what? We're doing it together. We've got each other. And so, without further ado, it's time to say thank you. Thank you so much to all of our listeners, and thank you so much to our patrons of our Patreon. Thank you for your continued support of this here little podcast. It's actually really cool. I'm not big up on warm fuzzies and compliments and all that. However, it's warranted here. I just want to say really, truly, from the bottom of my heart and Amanda's, thank you so much for, you keep showing up. You keep showing up and you keep being cool. And we just want to say we really appreciate that. So let's go through and give everybody their appropriate shout out by starting with MCSH. Thank you so much for joining our Patreon. We have Carrie C, Melissa R, Jennifer Z, Nicole C, Nzingo. Okay, I'll stop. Thank you. Patrick, Tiffany S, Kristen B, Janelle C, Jessica R, Liz W. Let me scroll on down and keep seeing these names. Sarah A, Aaron H, Gregory A, Casey T, Natalie B, Kendra L, Megan S, Aaron C, Moni B, in the middle, Katie S, Kim 22. We have Kristen W, Kimberly with an I, Rufio W, Erica, Jixa, Bailey K, Stephanie J, Jen B, Liz W, Jessica S, Holly M, Cameron W, Stephanie F, Wendy W, Shelly C, Summer, hey Summer, Claire R, Dr. Claire to you, Sarah S, Nick M, Sheila A, Kristen B, mother of baby twins in a pandemic, you go girl, Kelly W, Sandy C, Tia, Sharon S, Latoya B, Marissa L, and look at me, I gotta scroll to the second page. Demita H, Iris B, Jenny S, Whitney W, Desiree P, Megan S, another Megan S, but this is a Megan with a GH, hey girl, Mary Ann N, Trisha O, and we're just going to go ahead and say hey to David too, hey David, Maggie E, actually it's Maggie S, Susan Y, Jessie B, Allison I, Sydney B, Angela G, Elizabeth S, Leslie S, Gabby O, Vivian D, Annette A, Murky, Monica L, Joanne D, Brianne M, Little C, Top C, Gigi, that's for Galen G, Trizzy, girl, we don't even be calling you Trisha D, that's Trizzy, Amy F, and we've come to the end. Melissa B. It says Melissa B. I'm an official stranger too. Thank you so much for your continued support of our podcast. It's been really cool and great. This little podcast built out of a pandemic. Look at us all go. I mean, how many more P's? We should just come up with like some kind of alliteration. Pandemic podcast, Patreon shout outs. That's amazing. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.